And surprisingly, groundbreaking research here in New Zealand indicates that science may actually back his belief. This from Ian Sinclair.
I got the shock of my life when they looked at me and said, "Anton, there's nothing more that we can do for you."
Constable Anton Kuraya lays out the uniform he loves. The one he expected to be buried in.
Acute myeloid leukemia, cancer of the blood, and without treatment, they say, you would die within 8 weeks.
Every year, cancer kills more than 8,000 Kiwis. Now that works out to be around 20 people a day who die from this disease. One of them was meant to be Anton Kuraya. But Anton had a surprise in store, one that astonished his friends, his family, his doctors, most of all, himself.
Look at Anton today and it's hard to believe he was supposed to be dead more than a year ago. And yet it was while trying to outrun a suspect in his hometown of Kamo near Whangarei that he got the first warning.
And I think I only managed about maybe 10, 15, 20 metres and I was out of energy, absolutely out of energy. And the guy disappeared and that was the end of the chase.
When he was finally diagnosed and then, they said leukemia and immediately thought back, well, these are the symptoms.
They tried chemo to no avail.
How did they put it to you?
Sorry, Anton. The initial chemotherapy that we used for you just hasn't really done much for you. The cancer is kind of behaving like, an aggressive teenager?
Yeah, it wasn't doing what it was told. And so when he did arrive home and he told me, just literally everything went black, everything collapsed.
It would be devastating news for their 3 young sons.
We didn't tell them that day that he came home. It was just too hard to do.
But they would have to be told they would lose their dad in 4 to 8 weeks.
It was, I've heard people crying before, but this was absolute howling.
Yeah.
And for anyone who has kids and you're in that sort of situation, it's just howling, and just continuous.
Then there was his second family, the Force.
The only thing that I was really concerned about at the time, because I was thinking about my funeral, was whether or not I could be buried in my uniform. I didn't have to say too much at all. All I got was a hug and a pat on the back and just, everything's going to be fine, Anton. Don't you worry about it. Even after you leave, we'll look after your family. And that's all I really wanted to hear.
True to their word, fellow officers at his station in Kamo rallied around him.
They did fun runs. They made over $10,000, $12,000 for me.
When he got sent home from Auckland Hospital, they said he was palliative, he had 2 or 3 weeks to live.
Dr. Andrew Miller, not just Anton's GP, but a mate who took it hard.
The description of his bone marrow when they took it out was it was just jelly, and 60% of the jelly was cancer cells. And they'd done everything they could, given all the treatments they could, and just said, this is it, we've done all we can do, and go home and get your affairs in order.
But everyone reckoned without a treatment, often dismissed as quackery.
Well, it was my big boy that came back from school one day and had a bit of a chat with a mate of